The Nuggets pull off their best win of the season. A great win over the Oklahoma City Thunder. Russell Westbrook dominates. Nikola Jokic is everywhere. Peyton Watson's back. The kids are all right. Everything's great on Locked On Nuggets.
You are Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for joining us, making us your first listen. Appreciate you guys being with us Monday through Friday. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button over at youtube.com/LockedOnNuggets and give us those 5-star reviews wherever you get podcasts. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return. New customers can place a $5 bet and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. My name is Matt Moore. I'm the senior NBA writer for the Action Network. I'm co-host of Locked On NBA Monday through Friday in the afternoons over at youtube.com/LockedOnNBA. Glad to have you with us. I cannot believe the chat is bumping. I didn't even put this on Twitter because it's 1 o'clock in the morning Mountain, and you guys are still hanging out with us. Absolutely incredible community we have here at Locked On Nuggets. On today's show, I'll give you the rundown of how the Denver Nuggets upset the Oklahoma City Thunder, giving the Thunder their first loss on the season. We will talk about all sorts of cool stuff like, Russell Westbrook having an awesome game, or how about Nikola Jokic with a 23-point triple-double with 23, 20, and 16. How about Christian Braun with 24 points? How about Michael Porter Jr. with 6 threes and 24 points? How about Julian Strother giving good minutes? How about Peyton Watson getting revenge on what he said was a highlight that goes through his mind bi-weekly when the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander game winner last year that he swatted in the game on Wednesday night? All that and more on today's show. It will be a shorter one. This is our post-game episode. You can catch Swipa and Ryan's full thoughts on the game tomorrow here on youtube.com/LockedOnNuggets or wherever you get podcasts on Thursday afternoon. All right. Liz A5280 says we are sickos. Indeed, for hanging out with us here. But we do appreciate you guys being with us here wherever you're joining us and whenever you're listening. So, okay, you can get our new podcast newsletter at lockedondaily.com. And I'm writing after the games what I am referring to as the 10 piece, which is I'm giving here's 10 things about the night, whether it's, quotes or stats or observations from things. And you'll see that tomorrow morning over at lockedondaily.com. It'll be in your inbox. And the biggest thing that I talked about was speed kills. And the reason I say that, there's a lot of stories of this game. There's a lot of heroes from this regular season game. By the way, I was kind of commenting about how the Nuggets and Thunder don't really have a rivalry to Ryan. And yet, I was kind of thinking about it, and I was like, wait, the Gary Harris game winner was versus the Thunder. They've played in the playoffs multiple times. This is probably a little bit more of a rivalry than I give it credit for, just because these franchises have both been good. A lot of these divisions teams have been good, but those two in particular have been good at the same time. I wrote about pace, and the reason I chose to write about that instead of Russ or Yoke or Peyton, and those were all things I hit on. But the biggest thing is that in this third quarter, Nuggets go down 16 in the third quarter. And everyone in the arena is just we're cooked. The Thunder have got us because they're just so good at everything. And then a funny thing happens, which is Malone goes to a small, youthful lineup with Michael Porter Jr. alongside Christian Braun, Julian Strother, and Peyton Watson. Russ goes to the bench for his usual rest. And what happens is that combination of guys, because Peyton and CB are such good defenders, because Jokic is Jokic, and because Julian Strother has the ability to handle, push, pace, and get out and run, they wind up launching the comeback. And the key here is not just on the offensive end. Yes, they got out in transition, and Christian Braun relentlessly attacked at the rim and all those types of things. But what was really key in this was that when the Nuggets ran, it sped up OKC. is that the Nuggets would run down after a miss or a turnover, push the pace, and get an attack at the rim. And the Thunder would try and come right back, and they got sucked into that style. The key with OKC's entire offense is pace, because Shea is the best in the league right now at dictating pace. He is the best, I think, in the league right now. Peyton Watson was kind of raving about his deceleration. That's the whole thing, is that Shea's able to go from lightning fast to absolutely like slow motion. And because of that deceleration, while you're backing up, you're floating off into nothingness while he's got space to rise up and fire. And the rest of the Thunder have kind of operated off of that, and they want to be able to really kill you with patient, methodical drives that you have to help on, and then they kick to shooters, or if you recover, they drive again, and then just keep doing it. The Nuggets sped them up. Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, Lou Dort, Shea, all these guys were rushing shots because the Nuggets got them into an up and down fast court game. And I asked kind of Joker after the game about it, and one of the things that he said was, we knew that was really important going in with this team. And I was like, is that something that you want for this team? He's like, it really does depend on the game. He's like, with OKC, we definitely want to run, especially here at home. Malone talked about how that was his big emphasis point for them, was we got to get out and run, guys. Because he was like, we're not going to have a good time trying to score on the best defense in the league in the half court. We can't really get there. But if we get out and run, we'll grind them down and we'll get them out of their comfort zone. And that's what happened. So it really was like an interesting kind of like actual, like really great basketball side of this dynamic. The other big key, obviously, look, Russell Westbrook was a -14. And this is one where I will go ahead and say that does not match how it felt in terms of Russ's impact. Malone stuck with the kids because they were playing so well. And after the game, Russ was great post-game. By the way, shout out to Russell Westbrook for being awesome with the media this season. He has never been that in his entire career. He's always been a huge pain in the ass. He has been gracious and kind and like given really good insights. He had a great quote tonight about how tomorrow's I put in the newsletter, like tomorrow's not certain. And it was just really great talking about how you can take for granted these Tuesday, Wednesday NBA games. He's like, I never want to do that because this is such a great gift to be able to play this game. Like, Russ has been amazing, and he was great in this game. Like, he's been rough shooting throughout the season, and tonight, Russell Westbrook goes 10 of 15 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3, 6 of 9 from the line, 29 points, 6 boards, 6 assists, at 4 turnovers, but it's fine because of how Russ really did constantly attack them and help them really set the tone and keep the Thunder guessing by attacking the rim. His cuts, his slips, all those things were good. Hitting those threes is like bonus. It's bonus content. Like, it's just anything on top that's bonus. We were tracking this because I'm trolling Ryan. Russ had 29 points on the night. Jamal Murray's season high this season is 24. So Russ has a higher season high. That's me trolling. It's more honestly a credit to Russ really took advantage of being in these minutes with Jokic. Like, Russ and Jokic had a 2-man game going tonight that was really dynamic and hard to stop. And they deserve a lot of credit for building that and for making that work. Malone deserves a lot of credit for playing the kids. Like, he just did. He played Strother, and he played Christian Braun, and he played Watson. And Watson gets the very, very barest finger on what he said was just an impossibly high release point and high shot to get that block. Watson was great after the game. He literally was like, I think about it all the time. The game winner that Shea hit on him last year. And like, he wanted that revenge. And he was like, he and Russell Westbrook are like, they have the same kind of approach to a lot of things. You can hear Russ's words when Watson talks now a little bit. So many heroes in this game. Just absolutely phenomenal. And this is against, again, the best team in the league that was undefeated with the best defense in the league. And the Nuggets, they didn't light him up. If you actually look at it, it's only a 114 offensive rating, which isn't great. But the Thunder's offensive rating was terrible. This game looked like a high-scoring game, again, because of the pace. And that was just a really good job, not only by the youngsters for running the floor, but Jokic pushed and was so aggressive in this game. He was just so aggressive, constantly attacking on the inside. Yes, he got fouled a lot. No, they did not call it. Like, I was going back and forth with fans. This was a low officiated game in terms of the number of fouls called on both ends. Like, I don't know why it is that every time that Shea gets a whistle, everyone thinks that he's got like a million of them. Like Shea didn't shoot that many free throws tonight. Jokic didn't shoot any free throws tonight. They were hacking Jokic. They were fouls. They did not call them. Like that happened. But Jokic was also super aggressive and just like constantly battling on the inside. This was another one of those games that to me, I think proves the point that I'm always talking about, which is you can't judge Jokic by his numbers. Because Nikola Jokic had 23 points on 20 shots in this game, but he dominated. 20 boards, 16 assists definitely makes it seem like that's a great, amazing game from him in terms of like that's most people would kill for a game like that, but he wasn't efficient in this game, but he set the tone, and it really did help to not just help. He dominated and set the tone and did the job and led, and then the other guy stepped up and made plays. Julian Strother had a huge three and a floater late. Christian Braun, we'll get to Christian Braun second segment. And Peyton Watson had the game-winning block. It was just like a really great night at Ball Arena and the best win of the season. On the other side, we'll talk about Christian Braun, about his evolution, about how like I will go ahead and take the L on Christian Braun being a scoring guard now because he is definitely a scoring guard. We'll talk about that plus some final thoughts on the Nuggets win over the Thunder here on Locked On Nuggets. So one of my complaints about underwear, bear with me. One of my complaints about underwear is as you get older, your body's different and it gets annoying and you're more aware of stuff like this. You want to be comfortable all the time. And that's a great thing about Skims is that it's absolutely always comfortable no matter where you are. I try and work out as much as possible, and I don't like to wear like synthetic feeling workout underwear when you're done at the gym after I'm done working out. So when I tried Skims and the boxer briefs, I feel like I found the missing link. They gave me all the movement I need for working out without feeling like I'm walking around wearing gym clothes the rest of the day. They never lose their shape. They never ride up. And maybe it's in my head, but I really feel like Skims has been absolutely awesome for me to wear. Shop Skims Men's at skims.com. Let them know we sent you. And after you place your order, you can select podcast in the survey and select the show in the drop-down menu that follows. If you're looking for the perfect gifts for the whole family, Skims just launched their biggest holiday shop ever, also available at skims.com. We're also brought to you today by FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. You get an opportunity to bet on your Denver Broncos this week. They're facing a fraudulent team that no one thinks is that good. Their quarterback has like an interception every single game except last week. Great opportunity to get in on the Broncos. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. When you get a hunch in the middle of a game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play data, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. I bet on the Thunder tonight. Whoops, that was a mistake. As soon as I got to the arena, I was like, oh no, this is one of those spots where the team's missing 2 starters and one team's undefeated, and then all of a sudden the other team wins. Yep, that's how it happens. Visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Back here on Locked On Nuggets, thanks for joining us and making this part of your day. Appreciate you guys being with us here on a Thursday morning. Ryan and Swipe will be with you on Thursday afternoon. And then Swipe and Gripe on Friday before the Nuggets take on the Miami Heat that night. And then we'll do a post-game show on Friday night. As well as then on Sunday after the Mavericks game, we'll do No Jinx. So lots of shows coming up for you. Hope you can listen to all of them. Tell a friend about youtube.com/LockedOnNuggets. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers this season, and we're making gains. We're getting there. We've had really good growth on the podcast channel, but we're trying to get there. Help us out. Do what you can to help us out. Let's get to 10,000 subscribers at youtube.com/LockedOnNuggets. Congrats to DMVR for 100,000 subscribers. That is many more than 10,000. That's almost 10 times as many as 10,000. So congrats to those guys on their accomplishment. All right. Let's talk about Christian Braun. So I was skeptical on Christian coming into the season because Christian's offensive game wasn't very well rounded, and Christian sometimes still kind of struggles with, especially my big thing with Christian was that Christian will drive and then he gets himself in trouble because he leaves his feet and he just tries to finish over everybody. And that's a real problem because if you don't have a plan, you can get yourself stuck and it's a turnover or a badly missed layup or a block. And, a lot of that's like, I just have a lot of respect for KCP and what he brought to the team as a member of the championship squad. But I'm ready to take the L here because Christian Braun has been absolutely sensational. So the shooting splits are great for Christian, especially above the break. He's killing it. Like he is that shooter that Calvin Booth swore up and down that he is, right? Like he's been that so far. And as long as that holds, it's a huge deal for the Nuggets. Like Christian's been the second best player on the team. That's wild. Like I'm not even kidding. Like Christian's been the second best player on the Nuggets through these first 3 weeks. That's insane and a real credit to what he's brought to the table. The drives also, he's still out of control in terms of he'll jump without a plan and then have to make it up. But I will say this, Christian's so physical and so strong and so aggressive in how he attacks, the lines, the directions, the angles that he takes on these attacks, that he does draw fouls. Christian's not a great free throw shooter, but he's, I think, 85% this so far this season. But the bigger thing here is even if he misses those free throws, right? Missed free throws drive you nuts, they kill you. But a foul is still a positive outcome regardless of the free throw attempt because it does mess with the rotation for the opponent if you're generating enough, and it helps you get in the bonus. And Christian's aggressiveness does those things. Christian was phenomenal on defending Shai Gilgeous-Alexander tonight. Christian got out and ran and brutally pushed himself. Like he is so relentless. His motor is so good and he's hitting shots. It's just been a phenomenal start to the season for Christian Braun, who quite honestly has just been one of the most impressive players. Like he won't win most improved because it usually goes to a first-time All-Star. But like if the award was for who it should be, I think Christian should probably be in line for it. And I don't typically say that about guys in their third season, but I really think that he's been that good. Man, don't tell Santa Cruz is just blowing up Jamal. Okay, you guys gotta give Jamal some time. Jamal did win you a championship. Give like a little bit of grace for Jamal. Russ was good tonight, but Russ has been awful this season offensively. And despite Russ having a really great game, they were minus 14. I don't think that's on Russ. I think that really was just like the flow of the game, and the Thunder were really good. And they needed to have a certain dynamic on the floor to get them off of their rhythm. Like Russ can push pace, but it's a little bit different than when all the kids are running. And that was just like what this game needed. But Russ was really good, and they don't have a chance of the comeback if Russ doesn't give them 29 points. It was absolutely incredible. What else? Yeah, Russ was really great after the game, talking about all these opportunities that he's gotten. He talked about the resilience of Peyton Watson to come back from some of the mistakes that he made in this game. And Peyton's playing through them and getting better. He had a big three late. Peyton Watson was in the same place that Christian Braun was, where they both suffered an injury in preseason. But Christian really was like lost for the first 2 months of the season. And Peyton's like already caught back up. Like he's right back on track to where he should be. And that's really exciting because you need really good minutes from him. Zeke Naji played tonight. He's back in the rotation. He was okay. Had some bad misses. His 3-point miss was horrific. It was a terrible air ball. Only played 10 minutes. Yoke played 39 in this one. MPJ played 41. Malone, I think, is going to go to shorter rotations versus these teams versus in the OKC and Minnesota games. I think those are the most important games of the season for them, and they want to be able to make sure that they can level and match up with those teams. And so I'm not surprised that Yoke played all those minutes. It's not great. It is what it is, but I do think that's not surprising given what we've seen. Vibes were awesome after this game. Yoke was in a good mood. Malone was in a good mood. This was a really encouraging win for everybody. This was like the kind of win that brings everybody together, right? And like all the stuff with Calvin Booth, all of his guys played great tonight. That's a win for him. Malone played them. That's a win for him. They got the win. That's a win for everybody. Tonight was a really great night for the Nuggets, and that's the first time this season I can really say that. The Raptors win was in overtime, not a great win. The Nets win, not a great win. The Jazz win, not a great win. The Raptors win, not a great win. This was a great win. This was a really great win, and you should feel really good about it because it was the first one this season. Hope you guys have yourselves a great Thursday. Swipa and Ryan will see you later on Thursday afternoon to break down this game in detail and give you their thoughts. And then on Friday, we'll do Swipe and Gripe, and I'm sure Swipa and I will have stuff to argue about. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you guys being with us. We'll see you guys again next time here on Locked On Nuggets.